Hi, this is Nitesh. Welcome to your face reading channel. In this video, I'm going to share with you the nurture and control cycle of 5 elements. What are they? How that is going to help you in your journey to navigating your life. I'm going to share all of that within this video. If you're feeling any sorts of obstacles or pain, or you want to make some changes into your personal life, you feel that you're stuck, or maybe you are having troubles in your relationships, I feel watching this video and learning about the nurturing and control cycle of 5 elements can definitely help you navigate your life better, because it can help you give those slight pushes, those slight pointers, markers in your life that you can do right now, which can help you bring out that little transformation just to find your balance, right? So those are the things that I'm going to discuss in today's video, and I'm going to also give you real observations as to how people who are pretty famous apply these without realizing that they are applying the art of 5 elements. If you haven't watched the video of what is the meaning of 5 elements, go and watch that video. But if you haven't, you can still continue to be in this video, because I'm going to share about the nurturing and control tips of 5 elements. Along with that, I'm definitely going to give a brief overview of what those elements mean. So let's jump into the magic board to unveil this interesting learning of Chinese medicine, and thereby do those slight little transformations that can help balance our life better. So let's deep dive into the magic board. Welcome to the magic board, guys. Herein we are going to learn together the nourish and control cycle of 5 elements. It's a little advanced topic to learning about the 5 elements, but it's definitely going to be very interesting. And over the course of staying through this video, you're going to learn some interesting things about how you can make slight little transformations, and they can just prove to be very magical. And herein I have also captured some of the real life observations, like 8 of those observations that I'm going to share with you as to how you can implement these nurturing and control cycle into your life. This I'm going to share with you at the last, so make sure that you're staying by the end of this video, because you're going to learn a lot. And let me share about nourish and control cycle and what they mean. So here you can see a circle, and this circle holds a very prominent place with respect to Chinese medicine. And this circle represents like a flow of life, right? It represents life goes through a circle and then comes back through the same circle. So what Chinese have observed in the past is that they have observed the seasons. They have observed seasons repeating itself. Like, firstly, it comes winter. After winter, what comes? It comes spring. After spring, what comes? It comes summer. After summer, what comes? Early fall. After early fall, what comes? Late fall, and then winter back again. They have observed the cycle of human change. They have observed the cycle of human change as in a human. Let's say you were a baby first, right, in your mother's utero, and then you took birth, and birth is also a change, right? You have established your presence into the world, and then you were a child, birth and child. Then from child you were a middle-aged person. Sorry, after child you attain your peak of life, that is the prime of life, that is your youth, right? After youth you have attained your middle age, and after middle age you have attained old age, and then death, and then birth, right? So they have observed the cycles of life, they have observed the cycles of observation, and what they have termed these energies that repeat itself at various stages, at various points in time. They have given the names of these energies as 5 elements, and those are the 5 elements that reflects in our personalities. So we can be related more to one of these elements rather than having all of these 5 elements. And each of these 5 elements have a sense of tendency, have a sense of personality. Let's say a fire person is one who is like fire, who spreads joy as fire spreads itself, as flame spreads itself. Similarly, fire people spreads a lot of joy and love. They can be pretty exciting to work with. They can be pretty warm and affectionate to begin with, and a lot of performer have fire element, and fire by its very means attract people. And similarly, people who have strong fire can be really magnetic and affectionate with respect to how they are. Similarly, for our earth people, it has a specific set of energy which is focused more on focusing towards family, focusing towards nurturing. And earth is an archetype of mother. So when you imagine a mother and you imagine that she wants to nurture her children, you'll observe people having strong earth will display qualities of supporting you, will display qualities of nourishing you. Maybe you'll find a person who have strong earth be very compassionate and giver, because that's what they feel more strength into. And similarly, when you interact with other elements which you may not have and the other may have, then is when you can realize that people are different. And once you learn to embrace those differences of quality in the other people, you get to learn more about life in general. And thereby this video is going to be helpful, because we are going to learn the nurture and control cycle. And if you're feeling stuck, if you're feeling pain, if you're feeling heartbroken maybe in your relationship, maybe the slight changes that you can do to enable a push to your element can help prove a little fruitful to how you want to advance your life, maybe to balance your life right now, right? Because some small changes can really be pretty effective if we know how we can do that, right? But first of all, it's important how you need to realize which element you belong to. And for that, I'll recommend that you watch my video where I have talked about 5 elements and how you can decipher your primary element on the face, right? Because I have shared in the techniques there, and maybe throughout this particular video I'll give some tips, but therein I have mentioned the details. But in this video I'm going to explain the nurture and control cycle, right? So in simple terms, water feeds wood, right? You're observing a cycle, and the first element is water, and water represents the night time. Then water feeds wood, wood feeds fire, fire feeds earth, earth feeds metal, and metal feeds metal feeds water back again, right? So it's a cycle that repeats itself back and again, and back and forth. And learning this nurturing cycle will help you create those little transformations that you can do. A simple way to understand the natural cycle of 5 element you can gauge through the nature itself. Let's say wood needs water, right? So you can imagine trees that needs water for their growth, right? Similarly, wood feeds fire. So how does a fire gets generated? When you burn wood into each other, right? So wood forms fire, right? So fire is like this. And fire, when it burns down, what happens? It burns down to make ashes, and ashes thereby get into a form of soil, right? So fire nurtures earth, because through ashes you get the formation of the soil. And when soil is formed, that is the earth, right? You can imagine a soil bed, right? And when a soil bed is formed, then it hardens itself to form rocks, right? Which thereby goes on to be metal, right? And rocks, what rock does, it creates a structure. It creates a structure for water to flow. It creates, like, you can imagine rocks to be at the bank, right? Bank of the river. And those provides a pathway for water to find a way to flow, right? So metal thereby feeds water. So this is the nurturing cycle, where each element that is behind the other element is feeding on to the other element, right? So water feeds wood, wood feeds fire, fire feeds earth, earth feeds metal. And I have shared with you the way you can memorize it by just imagining a natural circular flow of how life functions, right? And this particular part where I have mentioned below water fear, below wood anger, above fire sadness and joy, below earth worry, and below metal grief. What are these? These are the natural emotions of these element, especially the negative emotion. So if you feel that there is a lot of fear that you feel into your life, which could be even an irrational fear, we all experience fear into our life. And I used to have a lot of superstitions into my life back in the days, and I used to like be superstitious for the games that I play, for the badminton matches that I used to play, for the socks that I have to wear. And it even went on to a stage where whenever I was playing a match in the badminton court, maybe touching a line from my feet was somewhere feed into my mind that if I don't touch that line, I'll be losing the match. So it was totally an irrational fear that I was experiencing. So when you have strong water element, fear does get into your being. So it's important how you neutralize those negative emotions into your life. So fear can be neutralized by reassurance, right? And when you have positive reassurance that nothing is going to happen, or what if you don't touch that and you still play the match and focus only on the match and not on touching the line that I was touching, right? I have learned with time as to how I can counter that fear, but I was just speaking about how irrational your fears can be. And this fear can also be rational in a sense that maybe you're fearing losing your loved person, right? Or maybe you're just not making a connect with other person because you fear losing them. So fear can take its various forms, and how you can neutralize those fears is when you drive your excess water towards the wood, towards the passing element, towards the next element, right? So water represents a pretty dreamy state, it represents a pretty flowy state, it represents a state, or it represents a quality where you can think extremely deep and you can be immersed in your dreams, but you're not taking any action, you're just enjoying in your own flow, you're just thinking about things but you're not doing anything. And wood is about to do. Wood energy is the energy of the sprout coming out from the ground, right? So you imagine a small sapling that is beneath the ground, and when it comes down, right, when the leaf and trees start forming, it is like breaking off. So it is doing, right? So when there is this excess thinking that is happening below your ground of mind, it's important that you pass it on to doing. And wood indicates a self of doing, it indicates a sense of doing. Similarly, if you're feeling the emotion of anger maybe, or you're being highly frustrated and irritated with life, that means your wood energy is not in balance. And when wood energy is not in balance, it can really keep you in depressive states. It can lead you to focus a lot on yourself and not doing work. And to kind of balance it out, how you can do that is maybe even feeding through water. You can feed water and it will strengthen your wood element, or you can strengthen your wood, drain your excess wood by driving it to have fiery experiences in your life. Which means let's say if you're feeling quite depressed, or this is by no means a medical video, it's just those slight little information that you can incorporate at your own discretion. If these informations proves to be valuable to you, then definitely you can go ahead and apply it in your personal life. But if you're feeling those sorts of irritation, frustration, how you can lessen it is when you give yourself maybe fiery environments. So the kind of depression or irritation or frustration you may feel when you are having excess wood energy, it can indicate that you may isolate yourself even. And when you drive yourself to fire qualities or fire environments, it can mean that you're giving yourself opportunities to be fiery. And fiery is what? Fire represents joy, it represents the quality of creating an excitement. Or maybe you club yourself with a fire person who is extremely joyful, and that way you can, drive your wood towards fire. So wood will find ways to balance itself out. And similarly with fire, if you are feeling excess sadness, because fire is an emotion, that fire is an energy that indicates the emotion of heart, which indicates that very much what you feel at your surface is what is out there in the public. And once you have strong fires, you can experience immense state of upheaval of your emotions, because where there is joy, there is sadness, right? And this can represent that stabilities in maintaining same moods can be tough. And fire, as fire needs fuel to perform, similarly fire people needs that stimulation every now and then. So somewhere, if there is this immense sadness, what you can do is maybe you can get a wood person to connect with, who can drive your fire energy to work yourself out. Right, that is something which one can do to enhance their fire energy. And if there is this earth that is out of balance, and earth has an emotion of worry, it has an emotion of excess sympathy, and maybe you're not able to overcome or move over a person, or something is troubling you from long and you're not able to get it done, right? So earth people can preserve things for a long time. And when that happens, it is pretty tough to kind of be at peace with ourselves, right? So similarly, what can do is either fire can stimulate earth, means some sort of vacation may be helpful, just so that it can create change into your outer environment. Or you can drive your earth towards metal, right? And how you can drive your earth towards metal, maybe learning more about spirituality. Because metal is about refinedness, metal is about precision, metal is about, you imagine a sword, how shiny it is, how precise it is. It can give you those sense of immense strength if you learn the meaning of divine, learn the message of what God has to offer in life, what the meaning of universe is. Maybe driving your earth towards metal, right? If you are having metal imbalance, each of these elements, because they're in a cycle, anything that you want to strengthen will affect you in your elemental cycle, and that definitely will be a positive change, right? So that is one of the powers of 5 elements, and thereby interacting with them, because it can really help you maintain that flow into your life. And once that flow is maintained, right, you won't realize that there is a change that you have made. It's just that you will feel happy, right? And that's one of the pointing marks to understand that your life is in balance. And similarly, when there is this metal, and metal has an emotion of grief, so when you're in excess grief, how you can come out of that is maybe you can start working more and start worrying less, right? Maybe you can find more modes of engagement into your life, so that your metal finds a way to go ahead. Because when there is excess grief, you can really feel hollowed into your life, and it can really sunk you in terms of thought patterns as well. So kind of stickiness is created. So doing wood energy and kind of empowering it towards it will definitely help you bolster you on empowering your metal energy, right? And similarly, as each of these elements feeds each other, similarly there is a control cycle which also helps us in creating a positive change. And I'm going to give you a natural way where you can empower and learn about the control cycle. So let me just see. Yeah, I'll select a dashed one, so that yeah, here we go. So there is a control element of each of these elements, and control by no means there is a negative quality attached to it. It's just that you can use those control cycles to create that little transformation that can help you navigate and achieve balance, right? So what is the control element, or who does water control? So water controls fire, right? Water controls fire. I'll just, yeah. And by the natural system, you could see that fire can be burned through fire, right? So fire can be burned through water, right? So wood, similarly, what wood can do? Wood controls earth. Wood controls earth. So you can imagine a sapling coming out of ground, right? And it breaks the earth, right? So it controls the earth because it has power over it. Let me just delete that. Awesome. And fire, what does fire does? Fire controls metal. You can imagine this as fire burns the metal, right? It melts the metal. So fire melts the metal. And you can imagine a sword given its shape through fire, right? And what does earth control? Earth controls water, right? How you can imagine or picture it is, once you put water or give water to the plants, the soil absorbs all the water, right? So earth controls water. And what does metal control? Metal controls wood. How come? Is because you can cut a wood through metal, right? You can hammer down the wood and cut the aspect of wood, or cut tree, right? So that is how you can memorize it. So let me just reiterate it. Water controls fire, wood controls earth, fire controls metal, earth controls water, it absorbs the water, right? And metal controls wood. So how you can use these energies into motion is, let's say, if there is a person, this is extremely helpful when it comes to applying and partnering in relationships. Just let me select this. Yeah. So how water controls fire is, you can imagine fire person who is extremely joyful, exciting, maybe needing excess stimulation, maybe is always on a mode which is extremely powery and fiery. Similarly, if you kind of mend themselves with a water person who is more on the thinking side, who wants to delay on information, who is a little slow on processing information, or not as quick as taking decisions as fire people, they can find their ways to mend themselves into each other, right? And this can be extremely suitable if you have a working environment where you see people who have strong fire person, and fire person are great in advertising, creating marketing techniques and all, because they can come up with lots of ideas. Similarly, maybe a water boss can help listen to all their ideas and thereby form a decision, right? So this can really work wonders if you're collaborating fire person with water people. Similarly, if you're collaborating wood people with earth people, that means that your excess drive in wood and the earth lends support, right? So your excess drive in wood, which means it can help you take initiation or take drive into your business, or maybe help in starting the business, and earth people can sustain those businesses because they are quite supportive in nature. So wood controls earth, and that is how you can use the control cycle as well into your life, right? And let me just share some of the real observations at last with you. This video's intention was just to explain to you the nourish and control cycle. In some of the other videos, I'm going to go in deeper as to what practices you can do to just nurture and control, or kind of get yourself aligned with your element. But here in the real life observation segment, I'm just going to share what are those mini forms of using these nurture and control cycles in life that I do, that some of the greats that you have seen in the world do without consciously realizing. And I'm sure that you also do some of those things which helps you kind of navigate and finds balance into your life. But herein I'm sharing few of the things, right? So this I mentioned scheduling life is a kind of giving fire to my life, because whenever I schedule, let's say, a YouTube live or an Instagram live, because people fuel in their comments, and live happens once I do face reading lives, right? So whenever people fuels in their comments, it adds like a fuel into my life. And what happens is, especially once there are no reading schedule, and once I'm on one of my weekends where things are a little laid back, I may get lazy, or I may go into states where I feel melancholy. But then, scheduling live kind of puts me on on a deadline that I have to get things ready, and B, once I finish the live, I feel extremely stimulated because I do conversation with real people into their lives, and they communicate back with me. So it's a form of feeding in fire into my life, right? So I have a strong water element, and when water gets that fire, it finds its way to kind of get that stimulation, kind of get that energy back into the life, right? So these small changes you could see manifesting in your life, that happens every day. Similarly, if you see Taylor Swift, and the amazing songs that she produces, I was going through some of the interviews that she has done, and she says that creating music is one of the cathartic process that she feels, and whatever she has experienced in her life is something which she has felt through her water, but how she has created music out of it, out of the painful experiences that she has had into her life, is how she has acted her wood to drive her, right? Wood is the energy which leads you to drive your life, and similarly, she has led herself to feel the pain through water, and thereby drive by creating music through her wood energy, and thereby expressing it through her fire energy, because fire represents a sense of expression, right? Similarly, if you're worrying too much and you may have had a breakup or a relationship fight maybe, then driving towards would be very helpful, because once you're having strong earth into your life, or even if there is no strong earth into your life, or like earth is not a primary element into your life, when you're finding modes of engagement, when you're finding modes to drive yourself more and keeping yourself engaged, you're not giving your earth to shine, thereby you're putting your earth towards the side of wood, which is kind of a nurturing cycle. And MS Dhoni is pretty famous, and MS Dhoni is an Indian cricketer who has a very strong courage, who has a strong water element, and he doesn't express himself verbally much. And how does he express? Is through wood, through his actions, through his sport, and that is how he communicates with people, by giving and spreading joy. Similarly, if you're having a lazy day, you can make yourself active by doing something that fuels you, and maybe going on a vacation, maybe going on a short trip can help, right? That is also something which can like fuel your element. Then if you want a sense of metal refinement, if you want to learn the aspect of divine, it means you are going more towards the aspect of precision, which means you are boosting your metal element, and this means that your depth aspect, which is through the water element, can be pretty much enhanced, right? So that is how you will be feeding your water element through metal. And one of the things that we do seek stimulation from is by picking our pictures or stories on Instagram, on Facebook, on maybe uploading a video on YouTube. So those are ways in which we want more fire into our life, maybe want more people to notice our life, but that is also indicative of fact that you are enhancing more fire into your life. And how you can gauge more fire on the face is once you observe sharp and pointed features on the face. And the eyes of people who have strong fire also has a strong sparkle into it. Yes, that is something which is tough to read through, but once you start reading people, once you start reading your family members, you'll be able to identify which member belongs to which particular element, and thereby you're going to learn how you can like create those slight little transformations into your life to have better understanding with them, right? So that is what pretty much this particular video contains of, and I will end this particular video now. This is definitely a video where I have explained about the advanced topics of 5 elements, and this holds very key prominence when you're reading people, because it can help you understand their personality better, and thereby you can apply to yourself and maybe even suggest some minor changes into their life or your family members, so that you give them a little balance, right? After all, we all follow this fact wherein thought follows energy, and energy thereby follows thought. So whatever your thought is, it follows and gets through energy, and energy follows thought back again, and all these energies play a vital role in creating balance into our life, right? So let me know in the comment section. I know this video was difficult, may have been difficult for understanding, but it was something which was important for me to share with you, and I have shared with you. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions. I'll be answering all of them. And if you want to learn more about face reading, you can head to my website chairaspeaks.com, and you can navigate to the web page that is specifically created for learning face reading, where I have talked about the 19 facial traits and power of 5 elements. And yes, that is pretty much the advertising that I have to do. Right, so for this video I'm done. Thank you so much for watching and staying up if you are up till now, and have a beautiful day ahead. Bye bye.